And for those just joining, we'll let you know that we'll be using a strap today, and we'll begin lying down. So let's go over and make our way to lying down on our backs. And I would like you to kind of luxuriate in the sensation of lying down. That moment of release that you experience when your body feels supported. And just embrace this feeling of letting go. There's this sort of natural sensation of letting go here. We don't have to hold ourselves up. The floor is holding us up. And we rest back into that support. And as you're lying back, kind of connecting with how you're feeling, just take a moment to honor and recognize how you're doing, how you're feeling. Just imagine you're with your best friend and they say, you know, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling really? Do a little self-inquiry. And honestly connect with just what is going on for you. And then respond to what you're understanding of how you're feeling with empathy and compassion, just like you would for that dear best friend who's sharing with you how they're feeling. Offer yourself empathy. So, you know, if you're feeling really great this morning, you know, just celebrate that. And if there's some hard stuff you're dealing with and you're not, you know, there's challenges going on, empathy is like crawling down into that deep hole with the person you care about and saying, I understand what you're going through, and I'm here for you. And I'll be with you to support you as we make our way forward. Because we are our own best friends. And we can support ourselves. And we're here now. We have this hour that we're going to devote to caring for ourselves. And so this time on our mat is not just about moving through the movements, although those are going to be good for us, this movement practice. But we can also spend this hour just sort of continually checking in and offering ourselves understanding and compassion. And we can practice making good decisions about what we need, what's right for us. Let's take this time, this hour, and just really do what we need, you know. It might be just lying back and breathing sometimes. It might be switching things up and doing something other than what I'm doing. Might be, you might get into a position and you're like, this is where I need to be today. I'm just going to stay here for a while. So give yourself permission to modify the practice in a way that feels right for you this morning. And let's now begin to just focus on deepening our breath for a little while here. We're going to start to take a deeper breath in, and then let that deep breath empty out. If you can breathe in through your nose, do that and let that breath expand in all directions, up and out. And your exhale can be out through your nose or out through your mouth, whichever you prefer. I'm going to let that exhale take whatever time it needs to fully release. And with this deep breathing practice, just allow the areas of the body where you tend to grip or clench, just let them release and soften on the exhale. So what are those places that you tend to hold on tightly? Allow those areas to let that tension go. And just do one more round of deep breath in and full emptying of breath out. And then begin to transition to a more natural breath rhythm. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And let's take our feet off the floor and hug knees into chest. Give your knees a hug. Sometimes I like to kind of massage my knees with my hands as I kind of sway side to side. Or maybe, you can slide up and down on your shins. Or maybe there's some other way of doing this movement that would feel nice for your body. Go ahead and see what you can offer yourself as we get going here. And then let's lift our legs up in the air and just kind of feel that stretch in the back of the legs, just alternating, flexing and pointing. And then we'll bend the knees so we're in tabletop with the legs. Let's take our arms up to the ceiling, palms facing. Drop the back of the shoulders into the floor and then bend the elbows so fingertips are pointing back. And we're going to take arms and legs up. Let's flex the feet. So push your heels up and then bend back. Arms and knees bend. We're going to reach up, push your heels up, and then bend back. One more time. Stretch those heels up, pull your toes down, and then bend back. Let's alternate now. Opposite arm and opposite leg going up, and then bending back. Opposite arm and opposite leg going up, and bending back. Just this nice contralateral movement to get the mind and the body working together here. And you can breathe deeply as you're doing this movement here. And then the next time your arms and knees are bent, let's transition to both arms and legs up straight. Draw that imaginary line down the center of your body and keep it steady as you take one leg out to the side and the opposite arm out. Try to keep the hip from lifting. And then bring that arm and leg back up. And then do the other side. As the leg goes out, can you keep the opposite hip from lifting up? And then come back up. So you can do it at your own pace, at your own speed, with your own breath rhythm. Opening out and coming back up. But focus your awareness now on that midline. Just really think about that line, nose, chin, sternum, pubic bone, keeping it rock steady as the arm and leg open out to the side. Breathing here as you move. This will be our last one, out to the side and then back up. And then we're going to take a little break. So your arms and legs can come down. And we're going to use our strap now. So find that strap. We're going to do the final layer of dead bug a little differently. I want you to put the strap around the ball of your right foot and take your right leg up in the air. And then I want you to hold the strap with your opposite hand, with your left hand. So you're holding the strap with your left hand, your right leg is up in the air. And the leg that's up in the air, the leg could be straight, or you could have a little bend in your knee, whichever you prefer. Could you kind of push your foot up into your strap so there's a little more action in the leg? There's a little, there's a little resistance. Your foot is pressing up and you're pulling down on the strap. So the leg is active. And then extend the other leg out on the floor and reach the arm that's not holding the strap overhead. So we're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to bring that leg in, as on the floor. Bring your arm in, place your hand on your knee. And the hand on the knee is going to push the knee away, and the knee is going to resist back into the hand. So there's a lot of work going on. The hand is pressing, the knee is pressing, and if you kind of even curl the hips up ever so slightly, you're going to feel a little more abdominal work happening. And then we're going to extend that leg out and reach the arm overhead and breathe. So we're going to bring the knee in, bring the hand to the knee, press and resist. A little bit of curling up in the hips, just a real slight movement there. And then extend the leg out, reach the arm overhead and breathe. And then bring the knee in, bring the hand in, press. The hand is pushing the knee away. The knee is resisting into the hand. Curl the hips up just a little bit. And then inhale and extend. A couple more like this. Pressing, resisting, curling, lifting. And then reaching out. And last one. Press, resist, curl a little bit. Good work. And then release the foot down. And then you can open up the strap and bring the other foot up into the strap and release the right foot down. So now your left foot's up in the air. You're going to hold the strap with your right hand. That foot is going to press into the strap a bit. So there's an active leg here, kind of pushing up into the strap. And then the other leg, we're going to let it extend out on the floor. And the arm that's not holding the strap, we're going to reach overhead. Let's take a breath in. As we exhale, we're going to bring that knee in, bring the hand onto the knee and push the knee away and then resist with the leg into the hand. And could you just kind of a little contraction in the low belly to curl the hips up just a bit. And then extend the leg out and reach the arm overhead and breathe. And then bring the knee in, bring the hand to the knee, push, resist, and curl just a bit. And then extend and reach and breathe. And then bring the knee in toward the hand, press, resist, little low belly contraction, and then extend and breathe. And then come in and push and resist. Two more. Extend, reach, and then bring it in and press and resist. And last one. Reach it out, breathe, and then pull it in. And press and resist. Nice work. All right. That foot can drop to the floor. You can bend your knee and take the strap off of the other leg. We'll set the strap to the side and let's just roll onto our sides towards our device. We're going to bend our knees and stack our knees. You can support your head any way you like. And then, so knees are stacked, which will stack our hips. And then we're just going to have our elbow by our waist and our palm facing the floor. And then we're going to keep the elbow by the waist and lift the fingertips toward the ceiling. So palm is facing forward and then palm to the floor. We're going to keep our feet together. We're going to lift our knee up as the palm lifts up and then lower the knee down as the palm goes to the floor. So it's external rotation of the shoulder and external rotation of the hip. We can breathe in as we lift up, breathe out as we lower down. So the feet stay together and we just lift the knee up and we're going to come back to those knees stacked position and then the hips don't move. So we don't roll back as we do this. We just lift up and we lower down. Palm is facing forward, fingertips to the ceiling. Palm is facing the floor. Lifting up and lowering down. We're going to do a lot of work for the shoulders this morning. And so I want you to give yourself permission to modify things, especially if your shoulders have some restriction. So I'm gonna empower you to make good decisions about what is gonna be appropriate for you, for your body, for your shoulders this morning. One more time like this. And then let's push ourselves up, swing our legs around to the other side, lower ourselves down, Supporting our head in some way. Knees are forward, knees are stacked, one right on top of the other. Elbow comes into your waist, your forearm, your palm is to the floor, and then you lift up and your fingertips to the ceiling, palms forward. So palm to the floor, and then feet together. We're going to lift the knee as we do this, and then lower down. The tendency when we lift the knee is for the hips to roll back. Try not to let that happen. So the knee comes back over the bottom knee each time, and that position of your hips stays the same as you lift and as you lower. Yeah, just working those external rotators here. Getting them warmed up, working, moving with the breath here if you like, inhaling to lift and exhaling to lower. We'll do a couple more. And after the next one, we can make our way to transition to all fours. So come around to all fours, cushioning your knees if that's better for you. Shift your weight around until you feel knees under hips and wrists under shoulders. Find your spine nice and long. Take a breath in. As you exhale, drop your tailbone down, round through your back, push into your hands, drop your head. You kind of can move your hips a little side to side here if you like, just a small movement. And then come back to your flat back, and then move into extension, arching your spine, lifting your tail, drawing your heart forward. You can move your shoulders just ever so slightly here if you like, as you breathe in and out. And then come to your flat back. All right, let's start to take the hips back and then kind of maybe swing them to one side and then rock forward. And then take your hips back and then swing them to the other side and rock forward. Can you take your hips out to the side and then swing back and then out to the other side and rock forward and maybe go the other way? So if this feels nice for you, you can do this circular movement. If this isn't for you, you could just do more cat-cow. So kind of play around with just moving your hips in a way that feels supportive and nice for your body this morning. And then let's eventually all make our way to sitting back on our heels, and then slide your arms way forward, extended child's pose now. Arms reaching way out in front and your forehead coming down. Take a breath in and out here. So you might have slightly wider knees here for extended child's pose if that's helpful for you. Breathe in and out. And then let's take one hand, maybe the right hand, walk it more towards the front of your mat. Reach it way out towards the front middle of your mat, and then take your hips over to the right and then take them back. So you're kind of really feeling a stretch in that right side. Kind of look under the right arm and kind of drop your right armpit down and then breathe into that side. Nice big breath, big stretch into your right side. And then slide that hand back. Let's do the other side. Slide the left hand forward up towards the front middle of your mat, and then take your hips over to that side, kind of sitting out to the side and back, maybe looking a little under that arm, and can you drop that armpit down? And then just breathe into that whole left side here. Great. And then you can bring that arm back a little bit. You can do one more extended child's pose with your arms way out and your forehead coming to the floor, or you could let your forehead rest on your bent arms. Take another deep breath in and out. And then let's lift our heads up and make our way to downward facing dog. As we come into our first downward facing dog, I always remind you to really ground through your hands. It's really a good practice to spread that weight out. Fingers, knuckles, thumbs. And then with a little softness in the knees, how much length can you create in your spine? Think about drawing those hip creases up and back. Remember we used to take a strap and and thread it through the crease of the hip, and someone would stand behind you and pull your hips up and back. Just imagine that sensation of lengthening the spine. Breathe in and out here. Maybe shake your head a little. Do whatever feels good for one more breath. And then we'll walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering our heels down, ending up folded over, soft, bent knees, arms and head, loose and heavy. Feel your feet nice and planted here. Take a breath into your upper back. Let the breath empty. Then draw your belly in and roll yourself up. Feel your spine just kind of stacking one vertebra on top of the one beneath it. Slowly, gradually rolling up and starting to stack those vertebrae in your neck until your head eventually floats up. As you root your feet down, let's take the arms out and we'll inhale and reach up, lengthening and lifting here. And then we'll exhale, allowing the arms to release down at our sides. Great. Dope. We're going to pick up our strap. Once again, I'm going to remind you that if we're working with our shoulders here, just modify it in any way that feels supportive for you. So just feet right beneath you or a little wide or whatever feels good. We're going to pull the strap apart. We're going to pull it apart and bring the arms straight out in front. And we're going to keep pulling it apart as we take the arms overhead. As we take the arms overhead, the tendency is to arch the back, but we're going to try not to do that. We're going to try to keep a little containment in the low ribs so the arms are reaching overhead, but the spine is neutral because we're working shoulders here rather than spine. So you're pulling the strap apart. Let's take it right down in front of the chin. So since we're pulling the strap apart, the shoulders are active. They're working, right, as we're pulling here. And then we'll reach up. If it works for your shoulders now, take it behind your head. If that doesn't feel good, just go up and down in front of the chin. So as you continue to pull the strap apart, go up and down, either in front of the chin or behind the head. Taking that strap up and pulling it down and taking it up. So either behind the head or in front of the chin. Now we're going to let's keep the right arm where it is. And then, well, it might move a little bit, but you're going to slide the other arm straight. So it's going to pull the right hand with it, and we're going to straighten the other arm out to the side. And then go back, and then do it on the other side. So we're going to straighten the right arm, pulling the left arm in. And then go back up. Pull out to one side, and then back up. Pull out to the other side. So are you arching your back? Knit your ribs in a little bit. So this work is happening in the shoulders, in the upper arms, rather than happening from you arching your back. All right, let's just pull it apart, reach it up, take it forward, and relax it down. Give your arms a shake, and maybe release your neck a little bit as well. Great. Let's do a little neck stretch. So I want you to place one part of the strap on the floor and step on it, and then grab it so that it's, there's your hand is holding the strap taut between your foot and your arm. The strap is tight. And check your alignment. So kind of tuck your chin and lengthen the back of your neck so your ears are right over your shoulders. And we're just going to take the head, whatever, you've got the strap in one hand, let your head drop the other way. Your head just drop to the side. And so the strap is keeping that shoulder from lifting up as your head drops to the side. And you're going to get a stretch in the neck and in the muscles in the top of the shoulder here. And you might just want to hang out here, or you could gently rotate your gaze and your position of your head a little bit up toward the ceiling and take a breath. And then rotate your gaze back forward so your head is just over to the side. And then bring your head back up. And then lift your foot up and then change it so that you're stepping on the other side of the strap. And hold that strap so there's no slack in the strap. Check your posture, get your chin tucked in, the back of the neck long, your ear over your shoulder, and then just gently let your head drop to the other side. And that stretch, you might feel it all the way down your arm. Feel it in your neck. Notice what you're feeling and take a breath. And then gently rotate, if you like, your head a little up toward the ceiling. Take a breath. And then take your gaze slowly back forward so your head is still to the side. Your gaze is forward. And then when you're ready, bring your head back up to center. All right, great. Step off of your strap. And we're going to set it down now. And we're going to do a little flow. So come and stand at the front of your mat. Root yourself down to stand tall. Reach your arms out. Inhale and reach up. Exhale and swan dive forward. Let that breath go as you fold over. Feel just that sense of release. And then let's press hands onto shins and inhale and lengthen halfway up. And exhale and fold again. We'll bring our hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Planting the hands, drawing the hips up and back. We'll take a breath. And we'll exhale to straight arm plank. Nice and long and strong here. Take a breath here. And we're going to try and lift up and back to down dog. Take a breath here. Exhale and lower to straight arm plank. So we're going to go up and back between these two. If that's too much for you, you might drop to your knees and just take your hips back from your knees. So either from your knees or from your full plank, we're going to go up and we're going to come forward. And again, inhale up and back and exhale forward. And one more time, up and back and lower it down. Great, let's take a breath here and then exhale all the way down onto belly. As we arrive into prone mountain, we can slide the heels of the hands back by the low ribs, let the chest sink, hover that nose really close to the floor, get long toes to crown, and then on your next inhale, start to pull your heart forward and press the heel of your hands back as you come up into baby cobra, and then we'll lower back down. This time, let's inhale up to baby cobra and lift our hands, lift our elbows up and squeeze in, and then lower the hands down and release the chest. This time, hands stay down as we come up to baby cobra. We could stay here or continue coming up a little higher into cobra. And then we'll lower back down. Let's push up to knees, curl the toes under and lift the knees and lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and out here, create a little space between your shoulder blades. Let's look forward and walk our feet up towards our hands. We'll plant our feet beneath us. And let's sweep the arms out. Inhale and rise up, reach up. We'll exhale our arms down at our side. We'll do that again. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Soft knees here. Let's inhale and extend the heart forward, halfway lift. Exhale and fold again. Hands to the floor, step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Exhale to straight arm plank. Let's try a little bend in the elbows here and take one more breath. And then we'll lower all the way down. All right. I want us to try classic cobra here. So I'm going to turn so you can see me better. And you're going to want to have your hands on a slidier surface than your mat. And you might want to just watch now if it's hard for you to, see your camera while you're doing it. Let me demonstrate. So we're going to do classic cobra. It starts with the arms out like a V. And the way that we begin this movement is we're going to pull this upper arm bone into the shoulder socket. So we're going to retract that upper arm bone into the shoulder socket. So the hands are going to slide in. And as we're doing that, we're going to start to pull the heart forward. So the hands slide in as the heart pulls forward. This is our classic cobra. Hands are pressing down. So if you were watching me, let's all do it together. Find a way where your hands can slide on a surface. Have them out like a V, back of the neck long. And start to pull the upper arm bones into your shoulder socket. So your hands are sliding in towards you. And think about pulling your heart forward, just like we do in baby cobra. So you come up to whatever height you're at. You're pulling your heart forward, you're pulling your arms in, you're pressing your hands down. You might be feeling quite a bit of sensation in your shoulders. And then we're going to lower back down. So if that doesn't feel great for your arms and you don't want to do it, like back off a little bit, or just do regular cobra. Sometimes this kind of frees things up nicely. Let's try it again. Pull the upper arm bones in, pull the heart forward, press the hands down, take a breath, and then exhale and lower down. All right, as long as we're here, I want you to take your arms out like goalposts, right? So they're out from your shoulders, they're 90-degree angle. And just take one arm and start to straighten that arm. So your body is going to kind of turn in the direction of as that arm straightens. Sometimes this can be a really nice release for the low back. And then bend the elbow and come back to the starting position, looking down. And then take the other arm, start to straighten it out and rotate your upper body towards that arm and hand. And then gently lower back down. So if this feels good for your low back, just notice that and try it again. Start to straighten that arm and turn and look towards that arm and hand. And then lower back down, look at the floor. Try the other arm, straighten that arm, turn and look in that direction. And sometimes this just makes a nice, lovely release for the low back. All right, hover your head down in front of you. Let's bring our hands back to their more familiar position by the low ribs. And we're going to push back to knees. We're going to make our way all the way back into child's pose. You might want to come more regularly on your mat. And it could be extended child's pose or knees closer in, just a basic child's pose here. Forehead supported, breathing into the back body, and letting the breath empty out. Checking in. How are we feeling so far? Offering ourselves empathy, understanding, compassion. Making this practice just what we need this morning. Take one more breath. With the next exhale, we'll lift our heads up and reach our arms way out in front. Let's make our way up to downward facing dog. And breathe in and out here. So we're going to make our way to right foot forward lunge. One option is to drop to the knees and step the right foot out in front. Other option will be to lift the right leg up in the air and then bend the knee, pull that knee up and in and step that foot through the lunge. So we're going to make our way into this right foot forward lunge. See if we can lower the hips a bit, having our feet hip distance apart here. Optimally, that back heel lifted and pointing straight back. We're going to start to rise up. You could bring your hand onto your knee as you make your way up. Straightening that front leg, we'll bring our hands to hips. Can we square our hips to the front of the mat? If that back heel is up, that should be available to us. And then we'll start to bend the front knee forward, push the foot down to straighten that. We'll bend the front knee forward, push that foot down to straighten that front leg. One more time, let's bend and straighten. This time we're going to bend the front knee. Feel the energy of the knee and shin moving forward. Feel that same sitting bone drawing back. Let's press back through the back heel and drop our arms down. And then we'll sweep the arms forward and up. As the arms lift, the shoulders lift, the ribs lift, we'll take a breath. Then take your arms out into cactus arms. And could you lift your heart a bit more and take a breath? Let the breath go. Then reach your arms up. Start to bring your hands to heart and start to lean forward. Can you find a long line of your leg and your spine? We'll take a breath here. Let's exhale and twist to the right. So that right knee hugs in, it stays in line with the foot, but the upper body rotates around. Hands could stay to heart, or elbow could go to the outside of the knee to deepen the twist. Let's take a breath in and out here. And then we'll unwind. We'll bring our hands to the floor. You can go back to knees and then back to down dog, or just step back to downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and out here. And then when we're ready, again, you can drop to your knees and step your left foot out in front, or lift your left knee up, bend that knee, hug it in, look forward, step that foot through to lunge. Find your nice low lunge. Hips can drop down a bit, feet hip distance apart. When you're ready, push into the front foot and rise up, straightening that front leg. Hands to hips, we'll square our hips forward. Let's bend the front knee and then push that foot down to straighten. We'll bend the front knee and then push down to straighten. One more time like that. Bending and straightening. And then let's bend the front knee forward, knee and shin forward, sitting bone pulls back, heel presses back, arms drop down. Let's sweep the arms forward and up. Shoulders and ribs lift. We'll breathe in, reach up. Let the elbows drop out wide, cactus arms. Can you lift your heart a bit more and breathe again? Let that breath go. Reach your arms up. Bring your hands to heart. Lean forward. Nice long line, leg and spine. Take a breath here. Exhale, start to twist to the left. That knee is hugging in as you twist around. You can keep your hands to heart or maybe elbow to knee. Take a breath. Then we'll start to unwind. We can bring our hands down. You can drop to knees and step back to down dog, or just step back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out here. Let's again walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering our heels down. Find that really rooted connection of your feet to the ground. Let's bend the knees and lower the hips. We'll sweep the arms forward and sit back in our low chair. Arms could stay forward or arms could reach up overhead. We'll breathe in and out here. And then let's push down to inhale and rise up, reach up. And exhale, arms releasing down. Great. Okay, we're going to pick up our strap again. And again, we're going to be working the shoulders. You could do this and just focus on the legs. You can switch up what we're doing with the arms if it's not feeling great for you. Let's turn the left foot in and turn the right foot out. Let's take the strap in the front leg hand, and you're going to rest the strap on your palm. You might have a shorter part of the strap in front and a longer part at the back. And then take your arm up toward the ceiling and then bend your elbow. So that strap hangs down from your hand. Your hand is kind of behind your neck or maybe lower down. Then grab the other part of the strap with your other hand. So you can feel that strap aligned with your spine. And then you might walk your hands really close, or you might have more distance. And the more distance, the easier it'll be on your shoulders, right? So, and don't go as close as you possibly can. We're going to do some movement here. So if your hands are as close together as you can get them, separate them just a bit. Ideally, this top arm, the elbow is kind of pressing up toward the ceiling. So check to see, like before, if you're pushing your ribs forward or arching your back.
kind of knit your ribs in a little bit. Okay, let's bend the front knee now. And as we're here with bent knee, I want us to pull up and down at the same time on the strap. Now, if that bothers your shoulders, maybe put a little more distance from your top arm to your bottom arm. Or if the strap isn't working for you, just drop the strap and just do this movement with your arms extended. But right now we're pulling up and down on the strap if we're using the strap as we bend into the knee. Let's straighten the front leg. Now, as we bend the front knee, I want you to pull the bottom arm down and let it bring the top arm down with it. So you're pulling down as you bend. And then as we straighten the leg, I want you to pull up with the top hand. It's going to pull the bottom hand up. So we're going to bend and pull down. We're going to straighten and pull up. We're going to bend and pull down. We're going to straighten and pull up. A couple more. Bend and pull down. Straighten and pull up. Let's bend the knee and pull up and down at the same time. Neutral spine here. If the head is forward, see if you can bring the head, ears over shoulders. Take one more breath. Then go ahead and straighten the front leg. Drop the bottom arm. You can shake it out a little. Release the top arm. And then turn your feet forward. And then turn the back foot in. Turn the front foot out. Place that strap in that same arm as your front foot. Maybe rest it in your palm, a little shorter part in front, a little longer part in back perhaps. Then grab it, take your arm up, bend your elbow. So again, the strap drops behind you, take your other hand and grab it. And make sure that is aligned with your spine. Your hand behind your head might be pushing your head forward. See if you can get your head erect, you know, your cervical spine neutral. Check if you're arching your back, kind of knit your ribs in a little bit. And then let's bend the front knee. So as we're here, we're going to pull up and down on the strap. One hand is pulling up, one hand is pulling down. It's too much. Put more distance between your top and bottom hand. But there's a lot of work in your shoulders because you're pulling up and down. Now we're going to straighten the front leg. So as we bend the front knee, I want you to pull down with the bottom hand. It's going to pull the top hand down a little bit. As you straighten the front leg, pull up with the top hand. It's going to pull the bottom hand up. So we're going to bend and pull down. We're going to straighten and pull up. We're going to bend and pull down. Try to keep your head held high. We're going to straighten and pull up. We're going to bend and pull down. We're going to straighten and pull up. Let's bend again, and we're going to pull up and down simultaneously. Lots of action here. Breathe in and out. And then we'll straighten the front leg. Let's release the bottom arm. Release the top arm. We're going to turn both feet forward now. We'll take the strap behind, holding it in both hands. Fists are facing backwards. Have it about as wide as your hips or your hands can be closer together. Pull on the strap, pull it apart and press down. Root down into your feet. Stand up nice and tall and take a breath. We're going to hinge forward to flat back, and your knees can soften as you do that. As you make your way to flat back, pull the strap apart and reach it towards the wall behind you. Little softness in the knees as you fold, continue to fold over. Let the head drop down. Pull on the strap. You might widen your grip. Take your arms overhead. Arms reach up as the head drops down, pulling that strap apart. Your hands can go really wide here if that's better for you. Breathe in and out here. As you start to make your way up and back to flat back, reach back through your hands, pulling the strap apart. Pause at your flat back, holding yourself up with the backs of your legs. Take a breath here. And then as you exhale, come all the way up. Great. Okay. Put the strap in one hand. You can heel and toe your feet together or just jump your feet together. Let's make our way all the way down onto the floor. Okay. So this has been a lot of work for the shoulders, and you might say that's enough for me. And if so, what we're doing next seems like it's a little bit much for your shoulders. The modification would be to lie down and do bridge pose. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to do tabletop. So tabletop, we're going to have our feet hip distance apart, our heels out in front of the knees. Our hands, rather than the arms turning back, we want to have more of an internal rotation. Having the hands all the way rotated in, toes towards the feet, might not be comfortable for all. So somewhere between your fingertips towards your feet or your fingertips turned out to the side, but we don't want to rotate the fingertips back. So you might play around with it, come up a little bit, come down until you find the angle of your hands, which will be the rotation in your shoulders that's right for you. So your hands are maybe slightly, the heel of your hands slightly behind your shoulders, the heels of your feet in front of your knees. We're going to push down and lift the hips up. So we're going to try and get those hips up nice and high, pressing into the feet. The knees and shins are pressing forward. So you're really going to work into the backs of the legs to get those hips up. As you press your arms down, you can create space across your shoulders, the front of your chest. Take a breath. And then we're going to lower down. Now you can let your hips come down. Now, if you want to try this, could we start to straighten the legs? Your hips are a little bit off the floor and slide your hips back. So you're lifted and then slide them forward again. And then we're going to come back up into tabletop, pushing down to lift the hips, broadening across the shoulders. We'll take a breath. Exhale, lower down. Your hips might, your butt might graze the floor and slide back. Ooh, that's hard. Maybe you're still up. Maybe you're gonna slide forward one more time. Lift up into your table. Take a breath. And then lower down. Could you keep your bum from touching the floor and slide it back so you're on your heels? Okay, that's hard. Shake it out. That's a little much for a lot of our wrists. So hopefully that was okay for whoever was doing it. But you might want to shake it out a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and make our way to lying down. We're going to lie ourselves back and let's hug our knees into chest. And just gently roll around again. Again, maybe you're hugging your knees, maybe you're massaging your knees, maybe you're swaying side to side, whatever feels good. All right, let's take the knees apart, dropping the knees apart, opening up here. You could just hang out here in like a supported straddle. You could take your heels up towards the ceiling, and you might grab the insides of the thighs and pull out and down. You might grab your ankles and pull down. You might take two fingers, grab your big toes, or take your hands to the outsides of your feet. Lots of options here. So the weight of the heels drops over the knees drop nice and open. Can you, as you're lying here, maybe think about lengthening your tailbone away from the crown of your head. Breathe in and out here. You could just stay here. You could sway a little side to side. You could bring one heel in towards your midline and extend the other leg out and take a breath. You could start to bring that leg that was out to the side back in towards your midline and extend the other leg out to the side and take a breath. You could come back or stay here with heels over knees, or you might enjoy taking both legs out wide and pulling out and down and breathing in and out here. And then we'll let the heels come back towards the midline and we'll release the feet to the floor. Let's lift one leg up now and drop the ankle just above that bottom knee. And then pick the bottom foot up off the floor to bring the legs in. We could do this without arms. We could reach through and grab onto the back of the left leg that's further away and pull in. And we'll breathe in and out here. You might flex that top foot. You might move the legs just ever so slightly to one side.
and back to center, ever so slightly to the other side, and back to center. You might hug in a little closer and take one more breath. Let's release that bottom foot to the floor and take the other foot down. We'll lift the left leg up now and drop that ankle just below that knee. Pick the bottom foot up off the floor. Reach through, grab on, and hug in. Flex that top foot. Maybe move the legs an inch or two to one side. And back to center. Inch or two to the other side. And back to center, hugging the legs in close. Take a deep breath in and out. And then release one foot and then the other foot. Great. All right, if there's one more movement that you'd like to offer yourself, go ahead and do so now. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to prepare ourselves for our final relaxation. So taking some time now to get warm and comfortable. I always like to put on my socks, keep my feet warm. Maybe you grab a blanket, maybe you grab a pillow. What can you do to set yourself up to be as comfortable as possible for this final part of our practice, this really wonderful closing pose? We might think all we're doing is lying down, but this is a yoga pose. This is probably one of the most essential parts of the practice, one of the most important poses that we practice. Corpse pose, Shavasana. This opportunity to be in a position or a pose where we're completely relaxed, which was our natural state when we were young. You know, we would lie down and we would just be relaxed, so we weren't holding on to stuff. But now we have these patterns of holding on that we have ingrained in our bodies. And often they create a lot of tension, a lot of imbalance. So letting the body release all that can have great benefit. So that's why we practice it every time. So as we're lying back, just bring your awareness to your feet. The bottoms of your feet, the tops of your feet, your heels. And just let your feet soften and relax. Let the weight of your heels drop into the floor. Let your ankles relax. Feel the weight of your shins dropping into the floor. Feel your calf muscles softening, releasing, and relaxing. Allow the area of your knee to relax. The front of the knee softens. The back of the knee softens. And feel the weight of your thighs dropping into the floor. Front of the thigh relaxes. The back of the thigh relaxes, releases into the floor. Now feel the area of your pelvis relaxing. So your muscles of your seat relax. The muscles of your belly relax. The whole area of your belly from one hip bone to the other. Everything in that central part of the belly where all the organs, the intestines are. The whole area, just releasing any tension. Unclenching, softening, relaxing. Let that relaxation move into the upper part of the belly. The whole central part of your trunk now, relaxing. Begin to feel the back of your shoulders, your shoulder blades releasing into the floor. Your shoulders resting back. Feel the weight of your arms dropping into the floor. The creases of your elbows relaxing. The palms of your hands relaxing. The back of your hands release into the floor. Feel the area of your central chest, your heart, softening, opening, releasing into the back of the body. Allow the weight of your head to settle back, letting your neck relax, your jaw relax. Feel your cheeks relaxing, the bridge of your nose, your eyes, area between your eyes, your temples, all softening, smoothing, relaxing, releasing. Your forehead relaxes. Your whole head, letting any tension drain away, releasing out of the back of the head into the floor. So your whole body is relaxed. Let your mind rest as well now. Just let yourself be as you are. As you continue resting back, I thought I would read to you that prayer that I shared this morning. It's the Navajo blessing, walking in beauty. In beauty I walk, with beauty before me I walk. With beauty behind me, I walk. With beauty above me, I walk. With beauty around me, I walk. It has become beauty again. Today I will walk out. Today everything negative will leave me. I will be as I was before. I will have a cool breeze over my body. I will have a light body. I will be happy forever. Nothing will hinder me. I walk with beauty before me. I walk with beauty behind me. I walk with beauty below me. I walk with beauty above me. I walk with beauty around me. My words will be beautiful. In beauty all day long may I walk. Through the returning seasons may I walk. On the trail marked with pollen may I walk. With dew about my feet may I walk. With beauty before me may I walk. With beauty behind me may I walk. With beauty below me may I walk. With beauty above me may I walk. With beauty all around me may I walk. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty, lively may I walk. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty, living again, may I walk. My words will be beautiful. So you're welcome to continue lying back. If you're ready to transition now, you might open your eyes. You might bring your feet to the floor. You might gently roll to your side and take a few moments to transition before making your way up to sitting. And we can take a few moments as we close out our practice for whatever you like, reflection, gratitude, prayer. So grateful for this practice, this chance to be together. I wish you all peace and a good day. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Debbie. Have a good one. Or was that Shirley?
Shirley's here saying thank you. Yep.